Hey guys, in this video I'm going to show you what this is and why I'm installing this on my R9T. I got this from a bloke in Bulgaria called Ivan Ivanov. This is a aluminum piece and this is going to replace this plastic piece because they tend to break. You see the crack already, and this was completely off. It's not the first time I'm seeing this, so I could just replace it with a plastic one. That is if you can find one, or you just go all the way with an aluminum piece. You know that's not going to break. You see the little screws in here you have to take out, but it's fairly straightforward. This one is already out. Took this out first because it's broken, and now I'm going to show you how to remove the throttle body, and then we just dive in and take it apart. You can see the clamps are already taken off. You can use one of those to just pin it out and pin it in. Just gotta be somewhat, sensible and careful. All I'm gonna do here is disconnect this one here, push in and pull on it. There's a fuel line that stays on the injector. Just going to remove this T25 to take it off. I'm going to remove this one up here. Just secured, put it out. Fuel line you have here, this is your throttle cable. I mean, it's just hanging on the box. I'm probably going to remove the top one that comes from the throttle. So I'm going to replace it anyway. So it looks like this. It's not nice. Then I'll just leave the box on here. Otherwise, you could also disconnect it here. If you work on these throttle bodies or on the cables, you will have to synchronize your cylinders afterwards so they run properly. This one bothers me. What's the matter here? It's supposed to be like this, like the security, or is this just broken? Maybe so it doesn't come out by itself. But that's already spring. It's loaded anyway. Off the door. Have to cut this cable tie here so the harness doesn't hold it, and then it comes out. So now here we go, taking apart the white throttle body, and I have to install this white, has an R for white, the other one has an L for left. Install it on here. It's not going to be fun, and you have to modify the shaft a bit. So first I'm going to remove the spring here so it doesn't come back on me. You just put it over. Then I'm going to remove the cable. You just give enough slack, take it out from here. Once the cable is aligned with this gap here, you can take that out. I will probably also have to remove this inner spring here, just this little hook here. On the other side, this cap has to come off because it's holding the shaft, and you have to literally dingle it off. So just dingle both sides, bump, 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 bump until it comes off. You open these two screws in here, and then you can slide out the butterfly valve. And once you take the cap off and you take the ring off, then you can slide out the shaft, and then we go from there. So you see me taking it all apart, punched first holes. I have to drill it. I'm going to drill with, this is a 1/8, and then just hope that my holes are in the right place.
12 seconds later.
So I got my 1/8 holes in, and it looks a little bit off. Let's see how it fits in here, and not quite. I missed it by quite some margin. That's a little bit of a problem, because now my screws don't really fit through. I can only make the holes bigger, but I will definitely go through here. So that's somewhat of a problem. Yeah, so you gotta be somewhat really careful with your holes. I need to make them a little bit bigger and have to do better on the next one. Once the Loctite dries, I hope it's good enough, and let's put it back together. First I want to clean it here a little bit. There's quite some build-up in there. Okay, it's good enough. Now let's put this thing back together. Let's put the wing on. On is always easier than off. So you can just push it down into its seat. Go. Go. Just like that. Bring it on. Put the cap on first. Put it on here and give it a wank. Clack. Let's hook the spring up again. Let's put the valve back in. Gonna be a little fiddly, you gotta be perfect center for it to close. Screws back in. Before you tighten it, you wanna make sure it sits perfect so it doesn't get stuck. Good, now I can tighten it. You can see there's no light coming through. Okay, that's it. Still have to install my throttle cable. I'm just installing a new one. It just looks fugly. Before installing it, I'm setting the distance about to be the same. Just makes the throttle adjustment later a little bit easier. Now this goes back in here. Do of course remove the clamp first. Actually, you don't. You just clip it in and that's it. That's very nice. Get the cable out. And it goes. And there we have it. You need this later when you adjust the throttle bodies. And you sync them up. But for now, I got my new cable. It's nice and not broken. I got my new aluminum. It's called a throttle cam. It's aluminum throttle cam, ATC. That's also the webpage. I think it's called ATC cam. That's where I can find these pieces, black or yellow, and also with the same instruction manual. But this cap, clean it first. This cap comes still on. Will sit on like this. The small hole goes over this screw and the big one goes over here. Just clips on. That covers it. If you want to check if your throttle cam is broken, you just have to take this cap off and then you can see it already. So, and then this is the passenger side. The left throttle body, and probably you will actually leave your throttle distributor on the bike. So you go in here first. You have to see how accessible this is on the bike. Open this clamp. Actually, you have to first remove the cover. Then you can access the clamp and remove the throttle cable. That is, of course, after you unclip the down here. Right here, it's also a crack. It's also broken. Just like the other one, chances are yours is broken too. There we go. Now this clamp. Open, Wire, same exact procedure. Only difference here is that a throttle position sensor, instead of this cap, I have the sensor on there, which actually is nice. I can only unscrew these. I don't have to deal with the silly cap. This is all kind of the left way around. Remove the spring, remove the other spring that holds it back. Oh, see, the spring goes around here. I put the spring just down there. So I didn't put it far enough. I was wondering why it went so smooth. This has to go one more step. Let's see how smooth that's gonna go. There we go. Spring 1, spring 2. Everything works. Cap back on. And that's it. Back here, taking this off. Now this is spinning free. To release the flap first. And this one only comes out to one side. One diameter is larger than the other one. You also notice that with the hose clamps that hold it to your intake. This is smaller, this is larger. So this comes out to this side. This is a T20 on here. Same game, removing the stupid pin. Here just showing you inside is cracked through and also the outside. You can see it. So they will all break, just a matter of time. From here, same thing. Just take this off, remove it. There's a pin in one of these. You have to hammer it out. And then the most critical part of this entire transplantation is the positioning of your new holes. You need to drill those spot on or it's gonna be quite slow. It took me twice the time to correct the holes than it took me to take all of this apart. Pay attention on that and be, a little careful. Took me forever and a day to line these holes up properly again. This time all three went in nice and tight and snug. Now let's put it back together. Spring seems to be sitting fine between the plastic washers. That's good. Clip in here again. Spring. Lastly, just the butterfly wave. So now it's time to pop the throttle bodies back in. Going to start on the right side because there's just not the throttle distribution box on here. It's a little easier. And I will at the end also install the throttle distribution box at the new position. It'll be piggy banked to the DME housing here. You take the 60.5mm clamp, part number ending 3636. It's the smaller one. Put it on first. And you slide in the throttle body. You have a nose here and there. You can line it up, make so you don't pinch it. Snug. So lastly, since I removed the airbox and the air filter, port filter. You have a hose clamp, port filter, this goes over here, and I would put the clamp to the bottom. You just pop this on here, tighten your hose clamp and you're done. And you have a small one for your crankcase ventilation, that has to come on top there also. You get to that later, or I get to that later. I'm gonna pop this on here. Like that, it's on. Tighten this down, that's it. That's how it's going to hold. Okay, you don't have to tighten this clamp too much, because if you do, it will snap off. It's holding, not going anywhere. Gotta keep an eye on it. The more rubber it's sliding over, means the more the clamp is going out. And the filter won't just fall off by itself, it's still pretty snug on here. But what's the point of a hose clamp if it doesn't hold anything? So I wanted to at least secure this thing in place. So now the throttle bodies are back in. Just have to put one pot filter on here, do that later. I want to keep the space for now. I still have to relocate the throttle distribution box. We'll do this now. And at the same time I want to replace my throttle cable. First that's ugly. So I have this screw here, looks like a T25. Open this up and then I should be able to release the throttle on top here. Up here it's just held by two of these rubber zip ties, rubber bottom ties. And then it just runs over this, can you see it? Over the spring here, behind this wire loom here, underneath here. It's not even inside a cable tie. It's pretty loose, so it's a lot of flex in here. And then it just clipped in here and here, and that's it. And then relocating the throttle box here, the throttle distribution box. First have to of course remove the DME. Look, DME, filthy. There's an edge here. I'm gonna keep this. Lay it against here. Just have to nibble down these stems here a bit. Then we have one hole here. Take a zip tie through here, underneath here. Take them out there, and you have to drill a hole on the other side. And you also cut this top edge away here. The cover, the lid, will face forward. You use one side, this edge here, and then the other edge here. This corner here is in the way, so we cut that away. That is already enough. Input comes down here, goes behind this wire harness for the DME, and behind the fuel line to reroute that. It will go back down here. There's a cutout down here where your zip tie can go through. On the other side there's none that we can use, so I have to create one. So you have to create a hole. I will just do it right here, down there. Should be big enough. Get my zip tie through there. I am prepared to install the box here, but first I have to change my cable. Honestly, changing the cable is so easy. The main cable was like 70 bucks maybe. Almost silly corrosion. It's broken right here. This edge, that's where it's broken. Maybe you can use this, cover it up a little bit more. Just the age thing, I guess. I adjusted it to roughly what it was before in the old one. I have to adjust everything throttle related anyway afterwards. Also, I have to sync the cylinders. That's for way later. So now, hole is drilled. The zip ties are here. I just have to get my box, just right here. Click the wires back in, and that's it already. Since I don't have the airbox anymore, I have to relocate the temperature sensor, and I'm just going to tuck this down here as recommended. And I also remove the secondary air pump that goes with the canister back here. Gonna clean this all up, tuck the ties underneath here, and make it look nice. So there's this little part. And that's one of those if you know, you know parts. And if you don't know, you probably just toss it out. This goes to your left side throttle body in here. This one slides in here at your throttle position sensor. This clicks in. So you can't push this spring, this tab, to remove the connector. So this is a lock for connector. Now you know. So, and with that, I leave you in this video. Throttle bodies are rebuilt. I replace the throttle cams, if you want to call it like that. Company calls it like that, whatever. Replace the plastic ones with aluminum ones. Drilling the holes is the most crucial and also the crappiest part. I had to rework them all. None of the holes fit right away. It's pretty crap even though I marked it. Whatever. You'll figure it out. It's just a little metal work. Now it's aluminum. They won't break on me. So that is good. Down here is still the crankcase ventilation. I have to still sort that out. I don't want to have it in here, but I don't want to have it down there right away. Because down here it might get soaked with oil. So preferably I want to, route it somewhere else. But maybe I'll just clip it on when the time comes and leave it. Because I probably won't drive the bike too much. But I should keep the hose in case. See, even here. Some oil in there. It's a hot climate where I live, so might come out here. Maybe I just pop it on and see how it goes, and if it doesn't go well, I can still reroute it. I'll figure that out as I go. So yeah, I'm almost to the point that I can pop on the exhaust, but exhaust and intake is usually easiest part to remove. I still want to work on the engine. Want to change the spark plugs. The one on the side is easy, but you have two in here. The other one is at the bottom down there, so the exhaust might be in the way. I'm gonna leave it off for now. Want to change spark plugs. And then I also want to adjust the valves. Still waiting for the foot pegs and after still work on the front of the bike, but that's another video. For now, I'd like to thank you for watching and I hope to see you on the next video.